Are you standing at the threshold of a new chapter? Perhaps you're seeking clarity, strength, or a deeper sense of purpose. What you're about to discover isn't just another self-help framework. It's an ancient philosophy forged in the fires of human experience, tested across millennia, and proven to cultivate unshakable inner strength. Today, we're exploring Stoicism, a school of thought born in ancient Greece that remains remarkably relevant in our modern world of constant change, digital overwhelm, and relentless pressure. We'll examine 25 foundational principles that can fundamentally reshape how you navigate adversity, pursue meaning, and cultivate lasting tranquility. But this isn't simply a discussion of what to do. We're also going to identify 7 critical behaviors the Stoics warn against, patterns that silently sabotage personal growth and prevent us from living the life we're truly capable of. We'll begin with the 25 principles that strengthen the mind. Then we'll turn our attention to the 7 things you should never allow into your life. Here's something crucial to understand. When we become mentally vulnerable, we open ourselves to manipulation. Cruelty, envy, and exploitation exist everywhere. In workplaces, social circles, even within families. Learning to fortify your psychological defenses isn't paranoia, it's wisdom. Think of yourself as an oak tree in a storm. The branches may bend, the leaves may scatter, but the roots remain anchored deep in the earth. Your foundation stays immovable. What you'll learn here is how to develop that kind of resilience. The kind that external chaos cannot shake, the kind that internal turmoil cannot destroy. The Stoics called this silent resilience, the capacity to remain composed and effective when everything around you is falling apart. These principles, developed by philosophers like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, aren't theoretical abstractions. They're practical tools for daily life. Join me on this journey of self-discovery. Together, we'll learn that true power doesn't come from the roar of thunder. It comes from the steady light that guides us through darkness. I invite you to eliminate distractions right now. Close the other tabs. Silence your phone. Give yourself this time. What you're about to learn could change everything. Principle 1. Listen more than you speak. The first principle strikes at the heart of how we engage with the world. In a culture obsessed with being heard, where opinions are formed in seconds and broadcasted to thousands, the ability to truly listen has become revolutionary. Listening isn't passive. It's an act of wisdom and humility, a recognition that we don't have all the answers, that other perspectives hold value, that silence creates space for truth to emerge. When we prioritize listening over speaking, we open ourselves to genuine learning. We begin to see the world through eyes other than our own. We encounter ideas that challenge us, experiences that expand us, viewpoints that refine us. This is how we grow, not through the endless assertion of our own beliefs, but through the patient reception of wisdom wherever it appears. Listening also teaches us patience. It slows us down. In that slowness, we find clarity. Instead of reacting emotionally to every statement, we respond thoughtfully. Our words become more intentional, our communication more effective, our relationships deeper. People feel valued when they're truly heard. They feel seen. This creates trust, the foundation of every meaningful connection. Whether in professional settings or personal relationships, the ability to listen carefully builds bridges that reactivity burns. In essence, the first Stoic principle challenges us to reconsider how we interact with others. It invites us to practice active listening, not just hearing words, but understanding emotions, reading body language, perceiving what's unspoken. This approach transforms our relationships, enriches our understanding, and opens pathways to growth we never knew existed. Principle 2. Embrace failure as your teacher. The second principle offers a radically different perspective on failure. In a society that stigmatizes mistakes and celebrates only success, this teaching is countercultural and profoundly liberating. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's an essential ingredient of it. Every mistake carries within it a lesson you couldn't have learned any other way. When we reframe failure as education rather than disaster, we transform our emotional relationship with risk, growth, and setback. The Stoics understood something modern culture often forgets. The path to excellence is paved with errors. We don't learn to walk without falling. We don't learn to speak without mispronouncing. We don't learn to think without being wrong. Failure is the tuition we pay for wisdom. This principle invites us to examine our mistakes with curiosity rather than shame. What went wrong? What could I do differently? What has this taught me? These questions turn failure into fuel. They shift our focus from self-judgment to self-improvement, from regret to refinement. When we accept failure as part of the process, we become braver. We attempt things we might otherwise avoid. We take calculated risks. We innovate, experiment, and push boundaries because we know that even if we fail, we'll emerge wiser and stronger. This mindset is essential in both personal and professional life. Organizations that punish failure create cultures of fear and stagnation. Individuals who cannot tolerate their own mistakes remain perpetually stuck, afraid to venture beyond the familiar. The second principle teaches us that greatness isn't found in perfection. It's forged in the willingness to fail, learn, and try again. By embracing this truth, we free ourselves from the prison of perfectionism and step into the arena of continuous growth. Principle 3. Prepare for adversity. The third principle introduces a practice that might seem pessimistic at first glance, but is actually deeply empowering. Prepare for the worst. This isn't about living in fear or expecting disaster around every corner. It's about mental and emotional preparedness, developing resilience in advance so that when challenges arise, you're not caught off guard. The Stoics practiced a technique called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. They would regularly imagine potential difficulties. What if I lose my job? What if this relationship ends? What if my health fails? By mentally rehearsing these scenarios, they strip them of their power to devastate. When you prepare for adversity, you build psychological armor. You develop contingency plans. You identify your resources and support systems. You clarify your values so that when pressure comes, you know what matters most. This practice also cultivates gratitude. When we acknowledge that comfort and security are temporary, we stop taking them for granted. We appreciate what we have right now, this moment, this health, this opportunity, because we understand that circumstances can change. Preparing for the worst doesn't mean dwelling on negativity. It means facing reality honestly. Life includes suffering. Relationships end. Health deteriorates. Careers stall. These aren't pessimistic thoughts. They're facts of human existence. But here's the paradox. When you prepare for adversity, you often feel less anxious. The unknown loses its terror. You've already looked it in the eye. You've made your peace with it. And in that acceptance, you find freedom. The third principle teaches us that mental preparation is a form of strength. It allows us to move through life with open eyes and steady hearts, ready for whatever comes, grateful for what remains. In Principle 4, be wary of fortune. The fourth principle offers a sobering warning. Beware the dangers of wealth and success. This isn't a condemnation of prosperity, but rather a caution about what prosperity can do to our character if we're not vigilant. Fortune is seductive. It promises happiness, security, freedom, and to some extent it delivers, but often at a hidden cost. Wealth can distort our values. It can distance us from authentic relationships. It can create dependence on external circumstances for our sense of worth and well-being. The Stoics observed that people often pursue money believing it will solve their problems, only to discover that it creates new ones. The more we have, the more we fear losing. The higher we climb, the farther we can fall. Material success doesn't guarantee inner peace. In fact, it can obstruct it. This principle reminds us that true wealth isn't measured in possessions or achievements. It's found in character, in how we treat others, in the quality of our relationships, in our contribution to the common good, in our integrity when no one is watching. Fortune is also temporary. Markets crash, businesses fail, health declines. Everything we accumulate will eventually be left behind. If our happiness depends on maintaining our current level of wealth or status, we've built our lives on sand. The Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort, occasionally sleeping on hard floors, eating simple foods, wearing plain clothes, to remind themselves that they could survive without luxury. This practice cultivated gratitude and reduced their fear of losing what they had. The fourth principle calls us to a balanced relationship with material success. Enjoy it when it comes, but don't let it define you. Use it for good purposes, but don't mistake it for the good life itself. Remember that real wealth lies in wisdom, virtue, and meaningful connection, treasures that external circumstances cannot touch. Principle 5. Diversify your sources of meaning. The fifth principle addresses a common vulnerability, placing all your hopes in a single dream or goal. This concentration of emotional investment creates fragility. If that one thing fails, you're left feeling lost, devastated, directionless. Life is unpredictable. Careers end unexpectedly. Relationships fail. Health changes. Dreams that once seemed certain slip through our fingers. When we've invested everything, our identity, our happiness, our sense of purpose, into one pursuit, these disappointments can feel like total collapse. The antidote is diversification. Just as investors spread risk across multiple assets, we should cultivate multiple sources of meaning, purpose, and joy. Maybe you find fulfillment in your career, but also in creative hobbies, close friendships, service to your community, physical pursuits, intellectual growth, and spiritual practice. This approach creates resilience. If one area struggles, others sustain you. If you lose your job but maintain strong relationships and meaningful hobbies, you don't lose yourself. You have other grounds to stand on while you figure out the next step. Diversifying your sources of meaning also enriches your life. Each pursuit develops different aspects of your character. Each community you engage with broadens your perspective. Each skill you cultivate increases your capacity to contribute and find satisfaction. Moreover, this principle protects against obsession. When all our energy flows into one channel, we can become rigid, desperate, unable to see opportunities outside that narrow focus. Multiple interests keep us flexible, curious, and open to life's unexpected gifts. The fifth principle teaches us to build a life with many pillars rather than one column. This structure is more stable, more interesting, and more capable of weathering the storms that inevitably come. Principle 6. Find wealth in contentment. The sixth principle, influenced by Epictetus, fundamentally redefines wealth. Real richness, the Stoics teach, isn't found in what you possess. It's found in your capacity for contentment and gratitude. We live in a consumer culture that constantly generates desire. Advertising tells us we're incomplete, that happiness is just one purchase away, that we need more, better, newer. This creates a treadmill of perpetual dissatisfaction. No matter how much we acquire, it's never quite enough. The Stoic alternative is radical. Learn to want what you already have. This doesn't mean settling for less than you deserve or abandoning worthwhile goals. It means cultivating appreciation for what's present in your life right now. Gratitude is a practice. It's the deliberate act of noticing and acknowledging the good. The roof over your head, the food on your table, the people who care about you, the ability to read these words, the opportunity for growth. When we train our attention on what we have rather than what we lack, our entire emotional landscape shifts. Contentment creates inner freedom. When your well-being doesn't depend on external circumstances, you become less vulnerable to disappointment, less anxious about the future, less controlled by fear of loss. Your peace comes from within, which means no one can take it from you. This principle also protects us from the hedonic treadmill, the tendency to quickly adapt to improvements in our circumstances, returning to a baseline level of happiness. People who win the lottery or achieve major career success often report feeling no happier within a year. Why? Because external changes don't address internal patterns of dissatisfaction. The sixth principle teaches that true wealth is a grateful heart. By practicing contentment, we escape the tyranny of more and discover sufficiency, abundance, and joy in what already is. Principle 7. Remember your mortality. The seventh principle might seem morbid, but it's actually one of the most life-affirming teachings in Stoic philosophy. Contemplate death regularly. Memento mori. Remember you will die. This wasn't meant to depress the Stoics. It was meant to wake them up, to pull them out of complacency and distraction, to remind them that time is finite and therefore precious. When we truly internalize our mortality, our priorities clarify immediately. The petty concerns that consume our attention, status symbols, minor conflicts, the opinions of strangers, reveal themselves as trivial. What matters becomes obvious. The people we love, the experiences that move us, the values we stand for, the difference we make. This principle isn't asking you to be morbid. It's asking you to be honest. You have limited time. None of us knows how much. A career that drains you, relationships that diminish you, days spent in resentment or distraction. These are extravagances you cannot afford. Remembering death also cultivates presence. When you're aware that this conversation might be your last with someone, you listen more carefully. When you know this sunset is one of a finite number you'll witness, you actually see it. Mortality makes life vivid. The Stoics also understood that contemplating death reduces fear. We spend enormous energy trying to avoid thinking about the inevitable. But when we face it directly, when we accept that everything, including ourselves, is temporary, we often feel liberated rather than frightened. This doesn't mean living recklessly or without concern for the future. It means living deliberately, with clear awareness of what truly matters. It means building meaningful relationships, pursuing purposeful work, creating moments of beauty and connection, because these are what give life value, and life is short. The seventh principle teaches us to live fully by remembering that we won't live forever. Let mortality be not a source of dread, but a call to presence, purpose, and love. Principle 8. Practice non-attachment. The eighth principle, drawn from Marcus Aurelius, addresses our relationship with material possessions and external outcomes. Cultivate non-attachment. Non-attachment is often misunderstood. It doesn't mean owning nothing or caring about nothing. It means freeing yourself from psychological dependence on things, circumstances, and outcomes. When we attach our happiness to external conditions, this relationship, this job, this possession, we become vulnerable. Those things can change or disappear at any moment. If our peace depends on them, we live in constant anxiety about potential loss. The practice of non-attachment creates inner stability. You can enjoy your possessions without being enslaved by them. You can pursue goals without being devastated if they don't materialize. You can love people without needing to control them. Your well-being comes from within, which makes it much more reliable. This principle also shifts how we see ourselves. We stop identifying with our roles, achievements, and belongings. We begin to recognize ourselves as something deeper, beings whose worth isn't determined by external markers of success. The Stoics practiced non-attachment through regular reflection. What if I lost this? Could I still be okay? This isn't pessimism, it's preparation. It's reminding yourself that you're more resilient than you think, that your happiness doesn't depend on maintaining current circumstances. Non-attachment also frees attention and energy. When you're not constantly worried about protecting what you have or acquiring more, you can focus on what actually matters: growth, contribution, connection, presence. The eighth principle teaches that freedom comes through letting go. Not letting go of things themselves necessarily, but letting go of the belief that your peace depends on them. In that release, you discover a deeper, more stable source of contentment. Principle 9. Accept what you cannot change. The ninth principle, core to Epictetus's teaching, offers a framework for serenity. Distinguish between what you can control and what you cannot. Then focus your energy accordingly. This sounds simple, but implementing it transforms your life. Most of our stress and frustration comes from struggling against things we cannot change: other people's behavior, past events, future uncertainties, circumstances beyond our influence. What can you control? Your own thoughts, decisions, actions, and responses. That's it, that's the full list. Everything else, other people's opinions, outcomes, the weather, the economy, the past, is outside your control. When you truly accept this, you stop wasting energy on futile battles. You stop trying to change people who don't want to change. You stop ruminating over past mistakes you cannot undo. You stop anxiously attempting to control future events you cannot predict. Instead, you pour your energy into your circle of control. You work on your character. You choose your actions carefully. You decide how to respond to circumstances. You cultivate your inner state. These are the domains where your effort actually makes a difference. This principle creates psychological freedom. When you stop resisting reality, you stop suffering from that resistance. You might still experience pain, loss, disappointment, difficulty, but you don't add the extra layer of frustration that comes from thinking things should be different than they are. Acceptance doesn't mean approval. You can accept that something is true while still working to change it where possible. But the acceptance comes first. The clear-eyed recognition of what is before deciding what to do about it. The ninth principle teaches that serenity comes through focus. By concentrating on what we can actually influence and accepting what we cannot, we find both effectiveness and peace. And by principle 10, master your emotional responses. The 10th principle, influenced by Seneca, addresses emotional regulation. You are not a helpless victim of your feelings. You can choose how to respond to them. Emotions are natural. They arise automatically in response to events and thoughts. But what happens next, how we interpret them, what we do with them, whether we amplify or calm them, is within our control. The first step is awareness. Notice what you're feeling as it emerges. Name it. This is anger, this is fear, this is sadness. This simple act creates distance between you and the emotion. You're no longer consumed by it, you're observing it. The second step is conscious breathing. When strong emotions arise, our physiology changes. Heart rate increases, breathing becomes shallow, muscles tense. By deliberately slowing your breath, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which calms the body and clears the mind. The third step is choosing your response. You might feel angry, but you don't have to yell. You might feel anxious, but you don't have to spiral into catastrophic thinking. You might feel sad, but you don't have to isolate yourself. There's space between stimulus and response, and in that space lies your power. Mindfulness practices strengthen this capacity. Meditation trains you to observe thoughts and feelings without immediately reacting to them. Over time, you become less reactive and more responsive, able to pause, consider, and choose rather than being swept away by every emotional current. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions. Suppression creates more problems than it solves. It means experiencing emotions fully while maintaining enough awareness to decide whether and how to act on them. The 10th principle teaches that emotional mastery is a skill you can develop. Through self-awareness, conscious breathing, and mindfulness, you cultivate greater clarity and calm, even in difficult circumstances. Principle 11. Live with moderation. The 11th principle, drawn from Epictetus, advocates for balance and moderation in all things. Excess in any direction, whether indulgence or deprivation, leads to suffering and imbalance. Moderation isn't about mediocrity. It's about wisdom, knowing when enough is enough, recognizing your limits, finding the sweet spot between too much and too little. In food, moderation means eating to nourish your body without gluttony or extreme restriction. In work, it means pursuing excellence without burnout. In pleasure, it means enjoying life's gifts without addiction or dependence. In asceticism, it means simplicity without self-punishment. The practice of moderation cultivates self-discipline. When you can regulate your desires and appetites, you're free. You're not controlled by cravings or compulsions. You can make choices based on wisdom rather than impulse. Moderation also creates sustainability. Extreme approaches, whether extreme indulgence or extreme austerity, tend to collapse. The person who works 80 hours a week eventually burns out. The person who restricts themselves severely eventually binges. The middle path is the one you can walk indefinitely. This principle recognizes human nature. We're not purely rational beings, and we're not purely physical beings. We have needs on multiple levels: physical, emotional, intellectual, social, spiritual. Moderation means attending to all these dimensions without allowing anyone to dominate at the expense of others. The ancient Greeks called this ideal sophrosine, a kind of harmony and self-knowledge that allows you to live well across all domains of life. It's the opposite of the modern tendency toward extreme solutions and all-or-nothing thinking. The 11th principle teaches that the good life is found in balance. By practicing moderation, you avoid the extremes that create suffering and discover a sustainable path to well-being. Udra's Principle 12. Be authentic. The 12th principle, influenced by Seneca, calls for radical authenticity. Be genuine in all your dealings, living according to your true values rather than compromising yourself for approval or advantage. Authenticity means knowing who you are, your values, your beliefs, your boundaries, and expressing that honestly in the world. It means not wearing masks, not pretending to be something you're not contorting yourself to fit others' expectations. This principle has two dimensions: honesty with others and honesty with yourself. Honesty with others builds trust. When people know you say what you mean and mean what you say, they can rely on you. Your word carries weight. Your presence feels solid. Relationships deepen because they're built on truth rather than performance. But honesty with yourself might be even more important. Many of us lie to ourselves constantly about what we want, what we believe, why we do what we do. We tell ourselves stories that protect our ego, but distance us from reality. Authenticity requires courage. It means risking rejection by showing who you really are. It means potentially disappointing people who expect you to be someone else. It means facing your own contradictions and flaws rather than hiding behind a carefully constructed image. But the reward is enormous. You get to live as yourself. Your life becomes an expression of your actual values rather than a performance for an imagined audience. You find people who appreciate the real you, not the version you were pretending to be. You experience the deep satisfaction that comes from alignment between inner and outer life. The Stoics understood that integrity, literally being integrated, whole, consistent, is essential to a good life. When your actions match your values, when your outer life reflects your inner commitments, you experience a sense of coherence and peace that no amount of external success can provide. The 12th principle teaches that authenticity is both a practice and a gift you give yourself and others. Be real, be honest, be you. Principle 13. Cultivate humility in learning. The 13th principle emphasizes intellectual humility. No matter how much you know, there's always more to learn, new perspectives to consider, and room for growth. True wisdom begins with recognizing the limits of your understanding. The moment you think you know everything about something, you close yourself to new information. You stop learning. You calcify. Intellectual humility means approaching life with curiosity rather than certainty. It means being willing to change your mind when you encounter better evidence or arguments. It means acknowledging that your current understanding is incomplete and temporary. This principle is especially important in our polarized age, where people often confuse confidence with certainty, where admitting you don't know something feels like weakness, where changing your position seems like betrayal. But the Stoics understood that rigidity is fragile. The person who cannot adapt, who cannot learn, who cannot evolve their thinking, that person becomes irrelevant, unable to navigate a changing world. Humility in learning also means valuing other people's experiences and perspectives. Everyone you meet knows something you don't. Every perspective contains some truth, even if incomplete. When you approach conversations with genuine curiosity rather than the need to prove yourself right, you learn constantly. This doesn't mean you shouldn't have convictions. It means holding them humbly, recognizing that you could be wrong, remaining open to revision. Strong opinions, weakly held, that's the sweet spot. Humility also transforms how you deal with mistakes. Instead of becoming defensive or ashamed when you're wrong, you can see it as an opportunity to update your understanding and get closer to truth. Mistakes become teachers rather than embarrassments. The 13th principle teaches that wisdom is a journey, not a destination. The wisest person isn't the one who knows the most. It's the one who remains most open to learning. Principle 14. Take responsibility. The 14th principle addresses personal agency. You are responsible for your life, your choices, and your development. This responsibility is both burden and liberation. Taking responsibility means acknowledging that you are the primary author of your life, not the only author. Circumstances matter, luck matters, other people's actions matter, but the primary one. How you respond to what happens is always your choice. This is empowering because it means you're not a victim of circumstance. No matter what's happened to you, no matter how difficult your situation, you retain agency. You can decide what to do next. You can work to improve your position. You can choose your attitude. But responsibility also means owning your mistakes and failures. You can't blame others indefinitely. You can't hide behind excuses. When something goes wrong that you contributed to, you acknowledge it, learn from it, and work to do better. This principle also emphasizes the importance of surrounding yourself with people who inspire you to grow. Mentors, friends, communities that challenge you to become your best self. You're responsible for curating your environment and relationships. Taking responsibility is fundamentally optimistic. It assumes you have power, that your efforts matter, that change is possible. The opposite, seeing yourself as a helpless victim, might feel safer in the short term, but it ultimately leads to despair and stagnation. The Stoics recognized that while we don't control everything, we control enough to make a meaningful difference. Our choices compound over time. Small decisions made consistently shape who we become and what our life looks like. The 14th principle teaches that responsibility is freedom. When you own your life completely, you gain the power to change it. Principle 15. Move beyond guilt. The 15th principle addresses a destructive emotion, guilt. While accountability is important, wallowing in guilt is counterproductive and paralyzing. Guilt serves a purpose. It signals that we've violated our own values, prompting us to make amends and change our behavior. But guilt that lingers beyond this point becomes toxic. It turns into self-punishment that prevents growth rather than enabling it. The Stoic approach is different. Acknowledge what you did wrong, understand why you did it. Take responsibility for the consequences. Make whatever amends are possible. Learn the lesson and move forward. Don't dwell, don't flagellate yourself. Don't let guilt become an identity. This requires self-compassion, treating yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a friend who made a similar mistake. This doesn't mean excusing the behavior. It means recognizing that being human includes being imperfect, and that shame doesn't actually help you improve. Guilt often keeps us stuck in the past, ruminating on what we should have done differently. But the past is beyond your control. What you can control is what you do now and next. How you show up differently, how you make better choices, how you become the person you want to be. Sometimes guilt is a way of avoiding action. As long as you're feeling bad about what you did, you feel like you're doing something. But feeling guilty isn't the same as making actual changes. In fact, it can substitute for real change, allowing you to stay stuck in familiar patterns while feeling morally conscientious. The 15th principle teaches that productive accountability looks forward, not backward. Own your mistakes, learn from them, and channel that energy into being better, not into endless self-recrimination. Under Principle 16, choose your response. The 16th principle offers profound wisdom about agency. While you can't always control what happens to you, you can always control how you respond. Life includes inevitable difficulties. Loss, disappointment, betrayal, failure, illness. These experiences are part of the human condition. The question isn't whether you'll face adversity, but how you'll face it. Between stimulus and response, there's a space. In that space lies your freedom, the ability to pause, consider, and choose, rather than simply reacting automatically. This space is where your power lives. Most people live reactively, bouncing from one triggered response to another like a pinball. Someone cuts them off in traffic and they rage. Someone criticizes them and they crumble. Something goes wrong and they catastrophize. They're controlled by external events. The Stoic alternative is to cultivate the pause. When something happens, instead of immediately reacting, you take a breath. You notice what you're feeling. You consider your options. You choose the response that aligns with your values and serves your goals. This doesn't mean you won't feel emotion. It means you won't be controlled by it. You can feel angry without acting on the anger. You can feel afraid without letting fear dictate your decisions. You can feel disappointed without collapsing into despair. Choosing your response is a skill that develops with practice. At first, the space between stimulus and response might be tiny. You only catch yourself after you've already reacted. But over time, the space grows. You get better at pausing. Your responses become more conscious and deliberate. This principle is incredibly empowering because it puts you back in the driver's seat of your life. External circumstances will always be mixed, some good, some bad, most neutral. But how you respond to those circumstances determines the quality of your experience. The 16th principle teaches that your life is shaped less by what happens to you than by how you choose to respond to what happens. Principle 17. Do your duty. The 17th principle addresses moral responsibility. Honor your commitments and fulfill your obligations with integrity and dedication. We all have duties, to ourselves, to our families, to our communities, to our work, to our principles. These aren't always convenient or exciting, but they're essential to a well-functioning life and society. Doing your duty means showing up even when you don't feel like it. It means keeping your promises even when circumstances change. It means honoring your word even when no one is checking. It's about integrity, being the kind of person others can count on. This principle recognizes that our actions ripple outward. When you fail to meet your responsibilities, you don't just harm yourself, you impact everyone who depends on you. When you honor your commitments, you contribute to a web of reliability and trust that benefits everyone. Duty isn't just about external obligations. It also includes duties to yourself, to develop your character, to pursue your potential, to live according to your values. These internal commitments are just as important as external ones. The Stoics believed that we're all part of something larger than ourselves, a family, a community, humanity, the cosmos. We have roles to play, contributions to make. Fulfilling these roles with excellence is both personally satisfying and socially necessary. This doesn't mean sacrificing yourself completely. It means finding the balance between self-care and service, between your needs and your obligations. Both matter. Neither can be neglected indefinitely without consequences. Dedication means bringing your full effort to whatever you do. Whether it's your profession, your relationships, or your personal projects, excellence matters. Not perfection, excellence. Doing the best you reasonably can with the resources and knowledge you have. The 17th principle teaches that character is revealed in how faithfully we meet our responsibilities, especially when it's difficult or inconvenient. Udai Principle 18. Develop emotional independence. The 18th principle addresses a crucial skill, emotional self-sufficiency. Don't allow your inner peace to be controlled by other people's opinions, moods, or actions. Emotional independence means that your well-being comes from within, rather than depending on external validation, approval, or circumstances. You can appreciate praise without needing it. You can hear criticism without being destroyed by it. You can witness others' bad moods without absorbing them. This doesn't mean you don't care what others think. It means you don't give others complete power over your emotional state. You remain grounded in your own center, your own values, your own sense of worth. Most people's behavior says more about them than about you. When someone is rude, they're usually dealing with their own stress or pain. When someone criticizes you, they're often projecting their own insecurities. Understanding this helps you not take everything personally. Developing emotional independence requires self-knowledge. You need to understand your triggers, your vulnerabilities, your patterns. When you know yourself well, you can recognize when you're being pulled off center and consciously return to stability. It also requires self-compassion and self-validation. If you depend entirely on others for affirmation, you're vulnerable to manipulation and disappointment. But when you can acknowledge your own worth and progress, you become much more stable. This principle doesn't advocate for callousness or isolation. Healthy relationships involve mutual influence and care. But there's a difference between being appropriately affected by people you love and having your emotional state completely controlled by others' moods. The 18th principle teaches that emotional freedom comes from developing a solid inner foundation that external turbulence cannot shake. You become like a mountain. The weather changes, but the mountain remains. Principle 19. Embrace simplicity. The 19th principle advocates for a simpler, more focused way of living. Less clutter, fewer distractions, more attention to what truly matters. Simplicity isn't about deprivation. It's about clarity, removing the unnecessary so you can focus on the essential. In our consumer culture, we're constantly told that more is better. More possessions, more achievements, more experiences, more options. But this abundance often leads to overwhelm and dissatisfaction. The Stoic approach is to consciously choose less but better. Fewer possessions of higher quality, fewer commitments of greater meaning, fewer relationships that are deeper and more genuine, fewer distractions, more focus. This applies to mental life as well. Simplifying means reducing information overwhelm, being selective about what you consume, creating space for thinking and reflection. In a world of constant stimulation and notification, simplicity is revolutionary. Living simply often means living more sustainably. When you consume less and choose more carefully, you reduce your environmental impact. You contribute to a more equitable and sustainable world. Simplicity becomes an ethical stance, not just a personal preference. Simplicity also cultivates gratitude. When you have fewer things, you appreciate each one more. When your life isn't cluttered with endless options and obligations, you can actually enjoy what's present. This doesn't mean everyone should live identically or embrace minimalist aesthetics. It means each person should thoughtfully consider what they truly need and value, then organize their life around that, rather than around cultural defaults or unconscious consumption. The 19th principle teaches that abundance isn't found in having more, it's found in needing less. Simplicity creates space for what matters most. And the principle 20, live according to nature. The 20th principle invites us to align with our true nature, both our individual nature and our place in the larger natural order. Living according to nature means understanding yourself deeply, your strengths, limitations, needs, and authentic desires. It means not trying to be someone you're not forcing yourself into molds that don't fit, not ignoring your genuine needs in favor of what you should want. This requires honest self-examination. What energizes you versus what drains you? What are your natural talents and inclinations? What do you actually value beneath the layers of conditioning and expectation? Living according to nature means organizing your life around these truths. It also means accepting your limitations. You have finite energy, time, and capacity. You're not superhuman. Recognizing and respecting your boundaries isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It allows you to work with your nature rather than against it. On a larger scale, living according to nature means recognizing your connection to the broader ecosystem, other people, other living things, the planet itself. You're not separate from nature, you're part of it. Your well-being is tied to the well-being of the whole. This principle also invites acceptance of natural cycles, growth and decline, activity and rest, success and failure. These aren't aberrations to resist. They're inherent to existence. Fighting them creates suffering. Flowing with them creates grace. Living according to nature doesn't mean primitive living or rejecting technology. It means making choices that honor your genuine needs and values, that respect natural limits, that contribute to rather than deplete the systems you're part of. The 20th principle teaches that authenticity and sustainability come from alignment with nature, both the nature within you and the nature you're embedded in. Principle 21, the path of virtue. The 21st principle presents virtue as the foundation of a good life. The Stoics identified 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. Wisdom means seeing clearly, understanding what's important, what's within your control, what's worth pursuing. It's the ability to make good judgments and learn from experience. Justice means fairness, kindness, and contributing to the common good. It's about treating others well, honoring your responsibilities, and working toward a better world. Courage means facing difficulty without being paralyzed by fear. It's standing up for what's right, even when it's costly, taking necessary risks, and persevering through adversity. Temperance means self-control, managing your desires, finding balance, resisting excess in any direction. It's the ability to say no to harmful impulses and yes to what truly serves you. These virtues aren't abstract ideals. They're practical capacities that improve every aspect of your life. They're muscles that strengthen with practice. The path of virtue is challenging. It requires constant effort, self-examination, and course correction. You'll fall short regularly. But the Stoics understood that the goal isn't perfection. It's sincere, sustained effort toward becoming better. This principle also suggests that virtue is its own reward. The person of character experiences a kind of satisfaction and self-respect that external achievements can't provide. Living according to your principles creates inner harmony that success without integrity cannot. Material wealth and pleasure are fleeting. Your character, how you treat people, how you handle adversity, how you pursue your goals, that's what endures. That's what defines you. The 21st principle teaches that the good life is the virtuous life. Not perfect, but genuinely committed to wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control. Principle 22. Cultivate tranquility. The 22nd principle introduces a central goal of Stoic practice, ataraxia, or profound inner peace. This is a tranquility that remains stable regardless of external circumstances. Ataraxia isn't numbness or indifference. It's deep peace that comes from accepting reality as it is, from not being controlled by destructive emotions, from living according to your values. This tranquility develops through practice. It requires learning to observe your emotions without being overwhelmed by them, to distinguish between what you can control and what you cannot, to respond to life with wisdom rather than reactivity. Mindfulness is essential to ataraxia. When you can observe your thoughts and feelings without immediately believing or acting on them, you create space. In that space, you can choose peace over turmoil, acceptance over resistance, wisdom over impulse. The virtues support tranquility. Wisdom helps you see situations clearly. Courage allows you to face difficulty without panic. Temperance prevents you from being pulled into destructive patterns. Justice connects you to purpose larger than yourself. Gratitude also cultivates peace. When you appreciate what you have, rather than obsessing over what you lack, when you recognize the good even in difficult circumstances, you develop a fundamentally peaceful relationship with life. Ataraxia doesn't mean you never experience difficult emotions. It means those emotions don't dominate your inner landscape. You can feel sad without being consumed by despair. You can feel anxious without it spiraling into panic. You can feel angry without it controlling your actions. The 22nd principle teaches that inner peace is available regardless of outer circumstances, not through denial or escapism, but through wisdom, virtue, and practice. Principle 23. Practice daily reflection. The 23rd principle advocates for a transformative habit, daily self-examination. Take time each day to review your thoughts, actions, and choices. This isn't about judgment or criticism. It's about awareness and learning. Each evening, you might ask yourself, did I live according to my values today? Where did I do well? Where did I fall short? What can I learn? How can I improve? This practice develops self-knowledge. Over time, you begin to notice patterns, habitual reactions, recurring challenges, hidden motivations. With awareness comes the possibility of change. Daily reflection also strengthens your connection to your values. It's easy to lose sight of what matters in the rush of daily life. Regular reflection brings you back to your principles, helping you course correct when you've drifted. The Stoics saw this as essential maintenance. Just as you clean your house or maintain your car, you need to maintain your character. Daily reflection is that maintenance. Clearing away mental clutter, reinforcing good habits, addressing small problems before they become large ones. This practice also builds accountability. When you know you'll be reviewing your day, you're more likely to make choices you'll be proud of. The anticipation of reflection influences behavior in real time. Marcus Aurelius kept a journal of his reflections, what we now call his meditations. He wasn't writing for publication. He was working on himself, reminding himself of his principles, thinking through challenges. This practice helped him become one of history's most respected leaders. Your reflection doesn't need to be elaborate. Even 5 minutes of honest self-examination each evening can profoundly impact your growth and awareness. The 23rd principle teaches that consistent self-reflection is the engine of personal development, turning experience into wisdom, mistakes into lessons, and intention into reality. Principle 24. View adversity as opportunity. The 24th principle transforms our relationship with difficulty. See adversity not as misfortune, but as opportunity to demonstrate virtue and develop strength. Every challenge you face is a chance to practice courage, resilience, creativity, and persistence. The obstacle itself becomes the path forward. What seems to block you actually develops you. This doesn't minimize genuine suffering or suggest that all difficulties are secretly good. It means that regardless of whether something should have happened, it did happen, and now you get to decide what to do with it. When you encounter setbacks, you can choose to see them as unfair victimization, or you can choose to see them as training. Athletes deliberately create difficulty, lifting heavy weights, running long distances, because that's what makes them stronger. Life's adversities work similarly. This perspective builds anti-fragility, the quality of actually getting stronger through stress and challenge, rather than merely surviving them. You don't just bounce back, you bounce forward, emerging more capable than before. Every person who's achieved something meaningful has faced significant obstacles. The obstacles weren't detours from their path, they were the path. Overcoming them developed the exact qualities needed for eventual success. This principle also encourages you to actively seek growth-promoting challenges rather than always choosing comfort. Voluntary discomfort, taking on difficult projects, having hard conversations, pushing your limits, builds the capacity you'll need when involuntary adversity arrives. The 24th principle teaches that your response to difficulty matters more than the difficulty itself. With the right mindset, every obstacle becomes an opportunity for growth. And by principle 25, live in the present. The 25th principle calls us to presence. Focus on the here and now rather than being lost in past regrets or future anxieties. The present moment is the only time you actually have. The past is gone. You can learn from it but not change it. The future is uncertain. You can prepare for it but not control it. Right now is where your life is actually happening. When you're fully present, you're more effective. You notice things you'd otherwise miss. You respond more appropriately to what's actually happening rather than to your projections or memories. Your work improves. Your relationships deepen. Your experiences become richer. Presence also reduces suffering. Much of our pain comes from dwelling on the past, regret, resentment, or worrying about the future, anxiety, fear. The present moment, in contrast, is usually manageable. Right now, in this breath, you're okay. This doesn't mean ignoring past and future entirely. Wisdom requires learning from experience and planning ahead. But there's a difference between thoughtful reflection and rumination, between prudent planning and chronic worry. Mindfulness practices, meditation, mindful breathing, present moment awareness, strengthen your capacity for presence. They train your mind to return to now when it wanders into past or future. Living in the present also means fully engaging with whatever you're doing. If you're with someone, be with them, not partially there while your mind is elsewhere. If you're working, work, don't half-heartedly multitask. Whatever is worth doing is worth your full presence. The 25th principle teaches that life is found in the present moment. By training yourself to be here now, you actually experience your life rather than being lost in thought about life. The wisdom of moderation. Ancient philosophy offers practical guidance for flourishing. The Stoic teacher Musonius Rufus emphasized that excess, whether in food, drink, or any pleasure, harms both body and soul. His teaching wasn't about joyless asceticism, but about sustainable well-being. Moderation means finding the middle path. Overindulgence brings immediate pleasure, but long-term suffering, poor health, guilt, dependence. Extreme restriction brings temporary virtue signaling but eventual rebellion. The balanced approach sustains indefinitely. This wisdom applies beyond food to every domain: work, rest, socializing, solitude, spending, saving. The extremes create problems. The middle way creates harmony. Moderation is self-knowledge in action. You learn your limits and respect them. You understand that momentary pleasure isn't worth lasting pain. You choose the sustainable path rather than the dramatic one. In our culture of extremes, extreme diets, extreme work hours, extreme opinions, moderation is countercultural. But it's also timeless wisdom that leads to lasting health and happiness. 7. Behaviors to avoid. Now we turn to the shadow side. 7 behaviors that undermine everything we've discussed. The Stoics didn't just teach what to do, they also warned about what to avoid. 1. Self-deprecation. Never belittle yourself, even in your own mind. Marcus Aurelius warned against destructive self-talk, the internal voice that says, "I'm terrible at this," or "I'll never improve." These thoughts aren't harmless. They shape your self-concept and limit your potential. When you constantly criticize yourself, you create a ceiling on what you believe you can achieve. The Stoic alternative is realistic self-assessment combined with self-compassion. Acknowledge areas for improvement without identity-level criticism. "I haven't mastered this yet," rather than "I'm incompetent." Your internal dialogue matters more than you think. It's the foundation of self-confidence and resilience. Protect it carefully. 2. Broadcasting your progress. Epictetus warned against loudly announcing your self-improvement efforts. When you constantly tell others about your growth, you risk making the announcement a substitute for the actual work. Real transformation is quiet. It shows in your behavior, your character, your results, not in your proclamations. Let your actions speak. There's also a humility issue. Constant self-promotion suggests that you're seeking validation rather than genuinely pursuing growth. It makes your development about others' perception rather than your own becoming. Work on yourself in private. Let others notice the changes organically. The results will be more authentic and more powerful. 3. Ingratitude. Few things poison life more thoroughly than ingratitude. When you fail to appreciate what you have, whether possessions, opportunities, or especially people, you create a mindset of scarcity and dissatisfaction. Gratitude isn't just good manners. It's a practice that fundamentally shifts your experience of life. When you notice and appreciate the good, you find more of it. When you take things for granted, you experience chronic dissatisfaction. This applies especially to relationships. People who feel appreciated are more likely to continue supporting you. People who feel taken for granted eventually withdraw. Practice active gratitude daily. Notice what you have. Thank people specifically. Appreciate small things. This simple practice transforms your experience of life. 4. Complaining. Complaining is one of the most useless activities humans engage in. It focuses attention on problems without generating solutions. It drains your energy and the energy of everyone around you. Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively about accepting reality as it is. Complaining is the opposite. It's resisting what is, while doing nothing to change it. Chronic complainers also repel people. No one enjoys being around someone who constantly focuses on what's wrong. It's emotionally exhausting and ultimately isolating. The alternative isn't toxic positivity, pretending everything is fine. It's accepting what you cannot change, working to change what you can, and maintaining a generally positive focus on possibilities rather than problems. When you feel the urge to complain, pause. Ask yourself, can I change this? If yes, take action instead of complaining. If no, accept it and move on. Either way, complaining doesn't help. 5. Needless speech. The Stoics valued silence and thoughtful speech. Not everything that crosses your mind needs to be expressed. Choosing when to speak and when to remain silent is a form of wisdom. Unnecessary talking often signals insecurity, the need to fill space, to prove your worth through words, to control interactions through volume rather than substance. Silence creates space for listening, for thinking, for others to contribute. It suggests confidence. You don't need to constantly assert yourself. Before speaking, the Stoics suggested asking, is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? This simple filter would eliminate most of what we say and dramatically improve what remains. Cultivate comfort with silence. Practice saying less. Let your words be few and meaningful. 6. Self-promotion. Through improvement related to broadcasting your progress, but subtly different. Don't use your self-improvement as a form of status-seeking or identity building. Some people collect self-improvement techniques and philosophies the way others collect possessions, as markers of identity, as things to display. I'm a Stoic becomes a label to impress others, rather than a practice to develop character. The irony is that genuine growth makes you less concerned with how others perceive you. If you're constantly positioning yourself as someone who's working on themselves, you're probably more interested in the image than the reality. Real transformation is evidenced in changed behavior, not in your bio or your bookshelves. Practice for the sake of becoming better, not for the sake of appearing to be someone who practices. 7. Ingratitude toward kindness. A specific form of ingratitude deserves special attention, failing to appreciate people's kindness and support. Everyone in your life who helps you, teaches you, supports you, or simply treats you well is giving you a gift. When you take this for granted or fail to acknowledge it, you damage relationships and diminish your own capacity for connection. Expressing appreciation costs nothing and means everything. A simple thank you, a note of gratitude, acknowledging someone's contribution. These small acts maintain and strengthen the bonds that make life worth living. The person who cannot appreciate others reveals a poverty of spirit that no amount of success can remedy. Gratitude is the foundation of meaningful relationship and genuine happiness. Bishop. Conclusion. A life worth living. These 25 principles and 7 warnings aren't abstract philosophy. They're practical wisdom for living well, for finding peace in chaos, meaning in difficulty, strength in adversity, and connection in isolation. The Stoic path isn't easy. It requires constant practice, honest self-examination, and genuine commitment to growth. But it offers something rare and precious, a framework for flourishing regardless of circumstances, a foundation for well-being that external events cannot shake. You cannot control what happens to you. You cannot control other people. You cannot control the past or guarantee the future, but you can control your responses, your character, your choices, your attention, your values. That's enough. In fact, it's everything. These ancient teachers, Epictetus, the slave who became a philosopher, Seneca, the advisor who faced execution with calm, Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who never lost sight of his humanity. They proved that this philosophy works. Under the most extreme conditions, it creates stability, clarity, and peace. Their wisdom has survived millennia because it addresses something timeless in human experience. We all face loss, disappointment, fear, and uncertainty. We all wonder how to live well, how to be good, how to find meaning. The Stoics offer answers that work as well today as they did 2,000 years ago. Start simple. Choose one principle that resonates with you. Practice it consistently. When it becomes habitual, add another. This isn't about perfect implementation. It's about sincere, sustained effort toward becoming better. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate all negative emotion or to become invulnerable. It's to develop resilience, wisdom, and virtue. To live according to your highest values rather than being tossed by every wind of circumstance. Your life is happening right now. Not when you achieve some future goal, not when circumstances improve. Now. The question is, how will you meet it? With wisdom or reactivity? With virtue or vice? With presence or distraction? The Stoic path offers a way forward. It requires commitment, but it rewards that commitment with something money cannot buy: a well-lived life, a good character, and peace of mind. The choice, as always, is yours.